how money was invented and immediately corrupted around 547 BC in the vibrant heart of Sardis, a pivotal exchange unfolds. A man extends a small, unassuming metal disc to a merchant who, without a moment's hesitation or the tedious act of weighing, hands over a basket of freshly harvested dates. For the first time in human history, a simple promise, imprinted upon a piece of metal, has replaced the cumbersome necessity of verifying a physical weight. This small disc, a testament to royal authority, silently declares its own value, fundamentally altering the fabric of commerce and, de facto, civilization itself. Before this moment, before the advent of coinage, the world operated on an entirely different economic rhythm. For millennia, societies across Mesopotamia, Egypt, and beyond had relied on the meticulous process of bartering, or, more commonly, exchanging precious metals by weight. Every single transaction, whether for grain, textiles, or tools, necessitated the use of a balanced scale. Merchants would painstakingly weigh out precise quantities of silver, gold, or copper, a process fraught with friction and potential for dispute. Beyond the sheer time commitment, there was the constant, nagging question of purity. Was the metal truly what it claimed to be? Was it adulterated with cheaper alloys? This inherent friction, an invisible tax on every exchange, constrained the speed and scale of ancient economies. Imagine the endless debates, the endless testing of metal, the constant suspicion that permeated trade. It was a world of slow, deliberate transactions, where trust was fragile, a verification was paramount. Even after the invention of coinage, many cultures, especially in the East, continued this ancient practice of weighing metal, a testament to the deep-seated habits of an older economic system. Sardis, the capital of Lydia, was blessed by a unique geological fortune. The Pactolus River. Its waters, shimmering under the Anatolian sun, carried a precious bounty in their sands. Electrum, a naturally occurring alloy of gold and silver. Legend had it that the mythical King Midas, seeking to rid himself of his cursed golden touch, bathed in the Pactolus, forever imbuing its sands with golden particles. Whatever the myth's truth, the river undeniably made kings, transforming Sardis into a crucible of wealth. Lydia itself, situada in what is now western Turkey, was a vibrant crossroads between the burgeoning civilizations of the East and West. Its strategic location, coupled with rich mineral deposits and fertile lands, fostered an environment ripe for economic innovation. Herodotus, the father of history, famously records that the Lydians were the first people we know to have struck coins of gold and silver, and the first to sell goods by retail. This seemingly simple observation reveals a profound shift in economic behavior. It was Alyattes, the shrewd father of Croesus, who initiated this revolutionary concept. During his reign, which spanned from approximately 635 to 585 BC, he began to stamp small, bean-shaped discs of Electrum with the royal emblem, the fearsome lion of Lydia. While scholars still debate the exact date, it is widely accepted that by the end of the 7th century BC, these stamped discs were already circulating in Lydia. This was not merely an aesthetic choice. The royal seal carried a monumental significance. The lion emblem was more than just a decoration. It was a declaration, an official pronouncement from the highest authority in the land. The king himself, through this simple image, guaranteed the content and purity of the metal within. Here lies the true birth of money as we understand it. Its value was no longer solely in the metal itself, but in the authoritative promise that guaranteed its worth. This was a radical departure from the ancient practice of weighing raw bullion. The coin became a symbol of trust, a tangible representation of the king's word. It was this transfer of trust from physical verification to sovereign declaration that allowed transactions to accelerate, trade to expand, and economies to flourish. This concept, simple yet profound, forms the very heart of how money functions even today. Yet, almost immediately, this groundbreaking invention was subject to manipulation. While Electrum is a natural alloy of gold and silver, the Lydians, rather than simply accepting its natural variations, actively adulterated it. Archaeological analysis of Lydian Electrum coins reveals a controlled composition, gold content typically ranging from 45% to 55%, with silver making up most of the remainder. This was not an accident of nature. It was a carefully formulated recipe designed to maximize profit. These Electrum coins circulated at a value artificially inflated beyond their intrinsic metal content. The royal authority, having declared their worth through the lion stamp, effectively imposed a higher price on them than the market would naturally dictate. In essence, the very first money in history was already a form of state-sponsored manipulation. The promise that underpinned its value was, from its inception, inherently broken. The irony is stark. The revolutionary concept of guaranteed value was born hand in hand with its own corruption. How was this supervaluation sustained? The Lydian kings utilized these coins to pay their vast armies of mercenaries. These soldiers, often far from home, had little choice but to accept the state-issued currency. Once paid, these mercenaries had to spend their wages within the Lydian economy, reinforcing the circulation of these artificially valued coins. The state's profit was the difference between the true metallic value and the declared face value, a subtle but significant economic leverage. Despite its initial success, the Electrum system harbored a fundamental structural flaw. Because the natural proportion of gold to silver in Electrum varied, and this variation was not visible to the naked eye, the true intrinsic value of any given coin remained ambiguous. This inherent uncertainty limited trust in the currency. Consequently, its circulation remained largely regional, struggling to gain widespread acceptance beyond the immediate sphere of Lydian influence. The system had an intrinsic ceiling, a barrier to true economic globalization. Around 585 BC, Croesus ascended to the throne, inheriting a kingdom already immensely powerful and wealthy. He was the epitome of royal extravagance, famously becoming a byword for riches, as rich as Croesus. His reign was marked by further expansion and consolidation. He conquered the Greek cities along the coast of Asia Minor, adding their tribute and resources to his already burgeoning treasury. His wealth flowed from the abundant mines of his kingdom, the gold-rich sands of the Pactolus, and the strategic trade routes that crisscrossed his domain. Recognizing the limitations of the Electrum system, Croesus embarked on a revolutionary monetary reform around 550 BC. He initiated a vast recall of all the existing Electrum coinage. In its place, he issued the Croeseids, the world's first standardized pure gold coins, alongside pure silver coins. This marked the birth of the first truly bimetallic monetary system, where gold and silver coins circulated at a fixed exchange rate, approximately 1 gold stater for 10 silver staters. The heavy gold stater, weighing around 10.7 grams, became the new benchmark for value and stability. This was a monumental leap forward, not just in economics, but in technology. Separating gold from silver required sophisticated metallurgical techniques, a testament to Lydian technological prowess. Archaeological excavations near the Pactolus River in Sardis have unearthed the remains of an ancient gold refinery, providing tangible evidence of this advanced industrial process. The innovation in coinage was, at its heart, an innovation in engineering and chemistry, allowing for an unprecedented level of purity and standardization. The design of the Croeseids was both powerful and iconic, the confronting heads of a lion and a bull, symbols of immense strength and fertility. Critically, there was no inscription, no text. The image alone sufficed to guarantee its identity and intrinsic value. Scholarly interpretations suggest the lion represented Alyattes, Croesus's father and the founder of Lydian coinage, while the bull symbolized Croesus himself, inheriting and strengthening the kingdom. Together, they represented a lineage of power and prosperity. What Croesus truly built was not just a new coin, but a new era of trust in currency. He didn't invent money, but he invented reliable money. For the first time, the value of a coin was verifiable, stable, and widely understood. This stability allowed the Croeseid to transcend Lydian borders, becoming an internationally accepted standard. It facilitated trade across the ancient world and cemented Croesus's reputation as the richest man of his age. The phrase "rich as Croesus" was born from this golden age of Lydian prosperity. According to Herodotus, Solon, the wise Athenian lawgiver, once visited Sardis. Croesus, eager to impress, paraded his immense wealth before the sage and then asked who, in Solon's estimation, was the happiest man in the world. He fully expected to hear his own name. Solon, however, replied with the name of Tellus, an ordinary Athenian who had lived a good life, raised healthy children, and died honorably in battle. He then cited two Argive youths who died after pulling their priestess mother to a festival as the next happiest. The profound lesson, which Croesus tragically failed to grasp, was that one cannot truly count a man's fortune or judge his happiness before his life has reached its end. Solon's words were a prescient warning, a harbinger of the fragility of even the greatest power. Driven by ambition and a sense of invincibility, Croesus sought guidance from the Oracle of Delphi before contemplating an attack on the burgeoning Persian Empire. The oracle's enigmatic response was delivered: "If Croesus goes to war, he will destroy a great empire." Croesus, in his hubris, interpreted this prophecy as a guarantee of Persian defeat. He believed the great empire destined for destruction was that of his rival, Cyrus the Great. The irony, heartbreaking in its perfection, would soon be revealed. Around 546 BC, the inevitable clash occurred. Cyrus the Great, leading his formidable Persian army, engaged Croesus in battle. Despite Croesus's vast wealth and his formidable Lydian forces, he was decisively defeated. Sardis, once the jewel of the ancient world and the seat of unimaginable riches, was plundered. The man who was rich as Croesus lost everything, fulfilling the oracle's prophecy in the most devastating way possible. It was his own great empire that was destroyed. Though its inventor perished, the invention itself proved far more resilient. The conquerors, recognizing the brilliance of Croesus's monetary system, did not abandon it. Instead, the Persians swiftly adopted and adapted the Croeseid system, minting their own gold darics and silver sigloi. They propagated this innovation across their vast empire, spreading the concept of reliable, standardized coinage far and wide. The Greeks, witnessing the efficiency and utility of these coins, developed their own iconic drachma. And the immense gold and silver wealth accumulated by Croesus, the very treasure that fueled his empire, became the spoils of the Persian conquest. This vast hoard would remain a cornerstone of Persian power for centuries, only to be famously plundered by Alexander the Great some 200 years later, unleashing an unprecedented flood of specie into the ancient world, forever altering its economic landscape. Lydia gave us more than just a means of exchange. It gave us the very concept of the monetary promise. It was the audacious declaration that a piece of metal, by virtue of authority, could represent a verified value, eliminating the friction of endless negotiation and doubt. But in that same stroke of genius, it also bequeathed to us the inherent temptation to break that promise. From its very inception, money was a dual-edged sword, a tool of incredible power for stability and growth, and an equally potent instrument for manipulation and deceit. Every empire, every financial system since, has wrestled with this fundamental dichotomy, inheriting both the promise and the peril of the Lydian invention. If the story of Lydia and Croesus has resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to Money and Empires for more journeys into the economic histories that shaped our world. We thrive on your engagement, so tell us in the comments, what other ancient economic mysteries would you like us to unravel in future episodes? Next time, we journey to the bustling ports of the Phoenicians to explore the origins of maritime trade and the audacious expeditions that built a commercial empire without ever truly conquering one.